Hey everyone, Flo from OFTWOLANDS here, and today we're going to talk about the Nisi Aureus Cine Primes. I recently shot a short documentary piece with these lenses on the PYXIS 12K, and in this video I will talk about my experience with them, what I like and don't like about these lenses, and finally whether or not I would recommend them. I will also discuss briefly how they compare to the DZO Arles, as those are the closest I've used in terms of specs and price. And as always, before I start, be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this one, and let's get into it. Even though I've been working with Nisi for several years, this was the first time that I've used the lenses. As you probably know, I've been using the ND filters, Mattebox and VND pretty much every week for the past 7 years. So when they asked me if I was interested in trying out the new Aureus a few months ago, I said yes. Even though I could have gotten them earlier, I preferred to wait to get an actual project lined up where I could use them and test them properly. My friend Thomas Tessier and I had this portrait documentary piece planned and thought it would be a good opportunity to use the Aureus on that particular one. There are a few reasons that made me want to get these lenses. First of all, because I've always enjoyed Nisi products and I had heard very good things about the previous Athena lenses but never got the chance to try them. Secondly, these are PL and cover a wide image circle, which allows me to use them on the URSA 12K LF and PYXIS 12K open gate, but mostly because they seem to be very well made and happen to also be very fast. For the project, we were able to get all 5 of them. Now, full disclaimer, Nisi will be sending 3 of them for me to keep later on, but they do not pay me and they don't get to modify the content of this video, and these are my own opinions. As with all my reviews, I want to give as much information while still being genuine and show you what I like but also what I don't like after using these in an organic way on proper projects over several days. As always, when I do reviews, I prefer to use lenses to film actual content or projects and not just test footage. For these, I shot an entire documentary piece with my friend Thomas Tessier over 3 days. The project itself is a short portrait piece about a French florist. And whilst it is pretty much a documentary, we also approached this as a dreamy and ethereal piece. We co-directed and DP'd the project, and we had an extra person on set to help us out for a few scenes. Feel free to check out Thomas's channel, as the final piece will be posted there, and of course I will also link Aline's floral work, as she is very talented. This project was a great opportunity to test the lenses in a real scenario, with multiple scenes both indoors and outdoors. Most of the project was shot with natural or ambient light, but we also did use a few lights and modifiers such as diffusion, bounce and neg. Outdoors we filmed at sunset and during the day, but also at dusk and under the moonlight. In terms of cameras, we filmed mostly with the new Blackmagic PYXIS 12K, as well as the URSA CINE 12K LF. And as always, you can find all the gear listed in the description below. Now let's get into the lenses. The Aureus set consists of 5 lenses: the 18mm, the 24, 35, 50 and 85mm. They are all manual lenses made for full-frame cameras and are all T1.4. They cover an image circle of 46mm and at the moment they only come in PL. In terms of weight, they are roughly 1.3 kg. And for size, here are them compared to my series Jupiters and Vespid 2. They also have a 90mm outer diameter and an 86mm filter thread. And they have the same size between them and the exact same gearing position, which makes it easy to swap and or balance. Additionally, their markings glow in the dark. And finally, when it comes to price, each lens is around $2,300, or you can get the whole set for just under $10,000. And of course, you can find more info on these lenses with a link in the description. Now let's talk about what I like about these. Usually when it comes to lenses, I often talk about the image quality first, but with the Aureus, I really want to mention the build quality. It is incredible. I think these have to be the best lenses I have in terms of feel in the hand and overall build quality. They are extremely well assembled, have a beautiful material, and feel very tight and consistent across the set. They feel more like 5 or 10K lenses in my opinion. Next is of course the image. They look amazing. After using these lenses in different scenarios, I can easily say that I love the image that comes from the Aureus. They are quite clean but at the same time have a very distinct look that I love. Whether it was the 18 or the 85, we were always happy with the shots. The bokeh was quite beautiful too, and I also liked the flares. Breathing seems to be minimal as well. To me, these are lenses that I could see myself use for any kinds of projects, small or large, documentary or commercial. Next is the shooting experience. The Aureus are great to use. From how smooth and precise the focus and aperture rings are, to the overall feel, we really enjoy using them regardless of the focal length. Coverage and image circle. These lenses have a large image circle and cover full-frame sensors very easily, even shooting 12K open gate 3x2. For example, there wasn't any vignetting using the 18mm open gate. Having a set that can cover all the resolution and aspect ratios on my URSA 12K LF and PYXIS 12K is very important for me. I've said this many times on the channel before, but having full-frame lenses means that you can use them either on full-frame cameras, or Super 35 cameras, or even larger format for example, so they are more versatile and a better investment in my opinion. Then we have the aperture. These are very fast lenses at t1.4. Not only can create a very beautiful look, especially open gate or full-frame sensors, but you can also shoot in very low light, as we did for quite a few scenes. For this project, we shot 90% of it at t2.8 or faster. They glow in the dark. Both the caps and markings on the lenses glow, and not only it is fun and quite pretty, it is also super helpful on set when looking down in a case. Next is the size and weight. I feel that for full-frame lenses that are 1.4, these are actually pretty compact. They are also light enough to use run and gun, but also heavy enough to minimize macro jitters. Close focus. I really like when lenses have a close focus distance, and these do. This adds another thing to the versatility. Then we have the caps. I know this isn't super important, but these are extremely well made. From the metal feel on the outside to the soft interior, these are the best I've seen in a long time. Next is the option to use a rear filter. This can be super handy if you prefer to put extra glass between the camera and the lens instead of in front of it, like with a traditional VND. I haven't used them, but thought I'd mention it. Another thing I want to mention is consistency. With some lenses you can sometimes get a slightly different color or look between a set, but with this one we didn't notice anything different. After the shoot, when looking at the footage, I couldn't tell sometimes what lens I was using from shot to shot. It felt like a same image with of course a different field of view and compression. Then we have the 95mm adapter for matte boxes. Since these have a 90mm front diameter that is less common, they do offer in a kit a 90 to 95 adapter, light and easy to use. And perfect for the C5 matte box for example. Perception and versatility. These lenses punch way above their prices on many aspects, and they feel like lenses 2 or 3 times the price, so in my opinion I think they are very well suited to all sorts of projects regardless of the budget. Now let's talk about the things that I don't like about these lenses. Like I just mentioned, I really love these lenses and I'm super impressed, so personally there's nothing that I don't like, but as always this is a review and I want to be transparent, so there are a couple of things that I would like to mention. First of all, I want to see more focal length, especially on the long end, as 85mm can feel a little restricted. Luckily we had 12K sensors, so we can crop in by a ridiculous amount. They are planning to release a 105 in the future, which is great, but I want to see a 135 or even 180 like you can find with the Arles. The second thing I want to mention is that these lenses can sometimes lose a little bit of contrast when facing harsh sunlight. We did trick backlit under very sunny conditions, so I totally understand, but I just wanted to point that out. Next is a PL only option. I think PL is great and a very solid option. Personally, it suits me since both my URSA 12K LF and the PYXIS 12K can be natively PL. But I think a lot of people will also like to have the EF version, as it can be more versatile in some cases. Of course, you can use adapters like I do often, but I still wanted to mention it. Then we have the 90mm front diameter. This isn't a super common size, and when coupled with the 86mm filter thread, it can feel a bit different than what you might be used to. Thankfully, they offer a 95mm adapter in a kit, but I always prefer to use less accessories when possible. In our case, for example, we used both an 86mm VND as well as a 95mm one with a step-up ring, and it was very easy. Next is the weight. These lenses are by no means heavy, as I just mentioned, but these are heavier than many full-frame lenses available today, so it is something to keep in mind if you like a super lightweight setup. That being said, they are also PL, so the mount is very secure and you don't even need to use lens support. And finally, the price. As I said before, these lenses punch well above their weight and feel very expensive. That being said, at $2,300 each, these are still expensive in comparison to what you can now get for full-frame sensors. Of course, they are super fast and very nicely built, but if you don't need tier 1.4 and a 46 image circle coverage, then you can probably find cheaper options like their own thinners, for example. I just wanted to quickly mention my experience with these new Aurus when compared to the Rs, as it is something that people ask me a lot. These two lenses are very close as they both can cover full-frame sensors with a 46 image circle and they are both tier 1.4. The Rs have more focal length, from 14 all the way to 180, which is a huge plus, and they also have an incredible image, and I've shot some of my favorite frames with them. They also come in EF in addition to PL, but they are also heavier and larger, which requires potentially more rigging, and in my opinion, the build quality isn't as good as the Aurus. The Aurus are smaller, lighter, glow in the dark, and also have the ability to accept a rear filter and feel much better in the hand in my opinion. Honestly, I find it quite hard to pick a winner as they both offer very good value, and it comes down as always to preferences and the work that you do. Yes, I would absolutely recommend the Nisi Aureus. I actually don't remember being that impressed by a lens for a long time. The build quality is incredible, the image is beautiful, they cover a large image circle, and the shooting experience is amazing. To me, they check everything that a lens should and feel much more expensive. These are definitely lenses that I would use for every project, whether it be documentary, drama, or commercial. Now I just want to see a longer focal length. In my opinion, the Aureus should be on the list for anyone looking at a solid, versatile, and reliable set of professional full-frame cineprimes. That's it for me for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to subscribe. And as I said before, don't forget to check out Thomas's YouTube channel to see the final piece. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Also, feel free to check out my 2 ebooks, Freelance Documentary Filmmaking and Travel Cinematography, where you can find a streamlined but comprehensive overview from pre-production all the way to marketing, built on years of my own experience shooting short documentaries and travel videos around the world. And if you are interested, I'm also doing filmmaking mentoring sessions when you can ask me anything about a wide variety of topics.